Should you go into debt to start your own private practice? You want to start your own brick and mortar. You want to start a telemed practice. Does it make sense to take on debt to do so? We're going to unpack this heavy hitting question in this video. Hi, I'm Dr. Annie DePasquale, the founder of Collaborating Docs. Today, we're talking all about whether or not to take on debt to start your medical practice. So medical practices are businesses just like any other. It takes capital, it takes money to get it started. This video is specifically about debt. There are many ways to fund and finance a medical practice that are unrelated to debt, but today's focus of debt is going to be on things like getting a loan from a bank, a friends or family loan. Friends and family can give you money and then you promise to give them that back plus interest. Also, credit cards, for example, you can get credit cards and then know that you have to pay back that amount plus interest if you're not paying back on time. So those are a few examples of what we're referring to when we say taking on debt to start a practice. You are taking on some risk that you will be able to pay that money back and more to the people you've borrowed from. So psychologically, some people have a really hard time doing that because they're very worried that the practice won't be a success and they can't pay them back. So that's really a personal decision. Can you live with knowing that you owe someone something and you have to make it work? I do see at times that can be great motivation to make sure that it works. Other people are counting on that money coming back, so you are therefore turbocharged to make it happen. That's the plus side. The negative side is if the worry and fear are crippling you and you can't even get things done because you're just so worried and you can't sleep and you can't think straight. That's the other side of the coin. So you sort of have to know yourself. Are you risk tolerant or risk averse? Can you handle that? Is that going to drive you or is it just going to stress you out? I do think probably on the whole, it's good to take a kind of middle road where maybe you do borrow some money, like a modest sum that you feel very confident you can pay back, or maybe you even have the money saved in your own bank account. God forbid you need to tap into it, you could pay back the debt that you owe. That's probably the most middle of the road, cautious way of doing it. It's always good to build a business on someone else's dime. So I wouldn't be afraid of debt. That's how the world goes round, in fact, but you don't want to get so down deep into it that it's hard to pull out of it unless you declare bankruptcy or something. So there's always an out, even bankruptcy, but we're not promoting that in this video. Another thing to consider is sort of your financial projections. How many patients are you realistically planning to see a day, a week, a month, a year? How much money are you planning to collect? What is your overhead? And then based on all of that, how much profit will you be making and at what point? Is it going to take you 3 months to be profitable? Or I'd even say break even, 6, 9, 12. I've seen it all. I've seen people profitable after a single month. Others, it takes years. And that really is up to you and how you're structuring your practice, how well you're marketing it, how you're getting people in the door, how you're getting them to pay you, and at what price point. So before you take anyone else's money, I highly recommend a business plan, but also really like the financial part of that business plan, projecting out when you expect to get that money back based on pretty good assumptions. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows for sure what the future holds, but you can make some pretty educated guesses as to what's going to play out and be conservative. Maybe you can have 20 patients a day, but let's just pretend it's 10 for a while. Make things a good, reasonable expectation rather than shooting for the stars. A budget or a financial plan should be something very reasonable and attainable. So in any business, it's wise to start small and grow bigger. So take on maybe a little debt and start the practice maybe on the side of your normal income producing job in the hospital or the clinic and do things kind of on a smaller scale, gain confidence, see that this is working. Oh, this is going great. And then your world can open up more. You could take on more debt if things are going well. So that's another, it's not an all or nothing thing. There's a continuum. So you probably want to land somewhere kind of in the middle, in the gray, and you'll feel better about it, that you're not being overly risky or too conservative. You're right down the middle and making good decisions. So you have some financial capacity to buy equipment and get things started and get technology, do some marketing, but you don't need to buy the fanciest equipment in the world on day one. You don't have to have the nicest website design in the world. You just need enough to get going. And then if it's going well, you upgrade, you get more money, and the process continues. So hopefully this gave you some good food for thought, and I wish you very well on your entrepreneurial journey.